I wanted to make a quick video on why adoptees need a recovery program, and it's really simple. All adoptees, from my personal experience and from who I've talked to, we're traumatized babies, we're traumatized kids that our suffering goes unaddressed, unacknowledged, not even unacknowledged, but on top of that, dismissed. And honestly, even by professionals, it is unaddressed. I've heard story after story, and from my own personal experience, I've been to multiple professional therapists that when the topic of adoption is brought up, it is basically the same question: aren't you grateful? And not only is this extremely dismissive and disrespectful to the adoptee, but it makes them feel more isolated. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and these women were talking about they're connected in their own group of adoptees, and 6 adoptees that they know of have committed suicide in the past month. And I know that the statistics are known, that are out right now, is that we're 4 times more likely than other children or young adults to attempt suicide. 4 times. And I believe that this number is wildly low, because I know myself, I've attempted suicide at least 4 or 5 times. Pills, hanging. If I could get a gun, I would always obsess about a gun. And I know it's really messed up and dark to talk about, but it's a real problem. If we do not get a recovery program, or in some sort of recovery, that our suffering gets acknowledged and addressed, and our trauma gets just acknowledged and addressed, not even a solution, but just the fact that it is acknowledged by professionals and families of adoptees, and even adoptees themselves, that the fact that there's a thing called adoption fog is just so wrong. Coming out of the fog at 38 years old as a transracial adoptee, a Hispanic in a white family, feeling that I have been the problem my entire life, and being told that, I'm being ungrateful and my expectations are wrong. My problems are, I'm spoiled, and that I've been given everything that I could have, been raised in foster care, and that I could have been this, could have been that, and I've been given so many more opportunities than I could have had if I was raised this or that. The reason that there needs to be a recovery program, hence the name Adoptees Anonymous, whatever it may be, whether I'm starting it or somebody else starts it, or, I know there's something called Adoptees Connect. There needs to be some sort of recovery program for us, or there will be more suicides, more loneliness, more unproductive members of society, because this suffering goes unaddressed, unacknowledged, invalidated, and nobody knows how to really deal with it. If you look at most of the adoptive pages, like adoption agencies, there's these pictures of happy families and different races with white families, and then all these happy pictures saying we're so happy, and all these great testimonies of happy families, and it's great. I think that is the goal, that it can be a great solution to a problem. I think that adoption could be a great thing. I personally, my experience, it was an environment where I wanted to kill myself, even though I had all the opportunities that I would have had, being raised in foster care, my biological family. The way I was raised, in the environment that I was put in, I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard, I wasn't aware of adoption trauma. And if there was some place that I could go with other adoptees that, like AA, have a program of recovery or some sort of solution that acknowledges, and I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt like, oh, I can open up to this person, oh, you know what I'm going through. But most adoptees that I know, and I still to this day have not found one other person that I identify, that I've actually met in person. Online now I have identified with people, but I still need a place to go online in my community. I mean, not online, in my community, in person, face to face, where I can converse and identify with a person that is adopted, that has that trauma that I can identify with. AA was built on Bill W. and Dr. Bob talking to each other, just understanding, hey, I know exactly what you're going through. They speak the same language. And I sat in the rooms of AA for 20 years and felt like, yes, I have this spiritual, physical, and mental craving, but I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't open up around anybody, and everybody thought I was so quiet because I felt like I was in the wrong place, even though I identified with a big part of the addiction problem. So there needs to be a recovery program, whether you get your adopted child in a professional therapy, or, you know, what I want to start is a recovery program. I have no idea how the hell I'm going to do it, but it is a need. It is a desperate, desperate need. I know I need it. I know other adoptees need it. We need to be validated. We need to be believed. We get dismissed all the time as you being ungrateful, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know how lucky you are. And, you know, I'm tired of it. It's costing lives, and something needs to be done. And, you know, before we can change the world, I feel like we have to change ourselves. And, you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to start connecting with adoptees through this channel, and hopefully start something in my hometown. And, you know, that's why I want to start this channel. There is serious suffering going on, and until we can acknowledge it and validate that, there's going to be way more suicides and way more death and darkness surrounding adoptees and just adoptive families. They're going to go through unnecessary suffering. So something needs to change.